It begins with silence. A crowd gathers. Children, mothers, soldiers, all summoned not by choice, but by force. In front of them stands a stage of brutality. This isn't fiction. This is North Korea. North Korea, the Hermit Kingdom, a place where time stands still. The outside world only sees what the regime wants them to see. Polished parades, smiling children, flawless performances. But behind the walls, a different story unfolds. A story of fear, indoctrination, and violence. Among the darkest truths hidden within the borders is the regime's systematic use of public executions. Yes, public, deliberate, and horrifyingly routine. These are not crimes punished in silence behind prison doors. They are put on display, an open-air show of absolute control, a spectacle designed to break not just the accused, but everyone watching. Under Kim Il-sung, the foundation was laid. Under Kim Jong-il, it was reinforced. And under Kim Jong-un, the machine of repression continues, more secretive, more strategic, and just as deadly. The leadership doesn't just demand loyalty, it demands obedience built on terror. And nothing says obey more than a bullet or a noose delivered in front of your classmates, neighbors, or your own children. Executions aren't whispered rumors in North Korea. They are part of life, part of the fear that shapes behavior from childhood. They take place in marketplaces, schoolyards, stadiums, military bases. Entire villages are ordered to attend. And skipping them? That alone could brand you as disloyal. In a land where questioning authority can get you killed, there's no such thing as being neutral. The people brought before the crowd are often tied to stakes or hung from cranes. Sometimes they're blindfolded, sometimes not. Their confessions are read aloud. Whether real or forced under torture doesn't matter. The purpose isn't truth. The purpose is submission. Executions are carried out by firing squad, usually 3 to 7 soldiers, aiming not for the head, but the chest or torso. Death is meant to be slow, messy, humiliating. In other cases, hanging is used, quick, public, and symbolic. Some executions are held without announcement, just a sudden roundup of people pushed into a field. Others are carefully scheduled. A warning, a message. But what crimes are deserving of such punishment? In North Korea, it's not murder or terrorism that leads to a public execution. It's survival. Watching a South Korean drama, listening to foreign radio, possessing a Bible, trying to leave the country, criticizing the government, stealing food during a famine, saying the name Kim Jong-un in a joke. Even children can be sentenced. A teenager caught with a USB stick of foreign media might be executed or forced to watch their friends or family die in their place. It is designed to create silence through terror, loyalty through trauma. One of the most notorious executions in recent history was that of Kim Jong-un's uncle, Jang Song-thaek. Once a powerful political figure, he was suddenly accused of treason. Some reports say he was stripped naked and thrown into a cage of dogs. Others say he was shot with anti-aircraft guns, his body obliterated in front of government officials. Whether those details are fully accurate or not, the point remains. In North Korea, even the elite are disposable. No one is safe. Stories from defectors paint a horrifying picture. One man recalls seeing a woman hanged for distributing Bibles. Another watched a man executed for stealing electrical wire to sell for food. A defector who escaped as a child described being forced to watch a firing squad execute 3 people, then told to cheer. They remember the smell of blood, the gunshots echoing across the field, the forced applause. North Korea doesn't just kill individuals, it kills hope. These executions are psychological warfare. They erase resistance before it can begin. When you've watched someone die for a single spoken word, you stop speaking. You stop questioning. You survive by staying silent. But what makes it worse? What makes it more unbearable is that the world barely reacts. These events are hidden, denied, or buried under diplomatic concerns. Human rights organizations have documented countless cases, but without video evidence or official records, the world's attention quickly moves on. Why haven't you seen this on your evening news? Because North Korea operates in total secrecy. There is no free press, no independent media, no eyewitnesses allowed to speak. The regime controls every camera, every screen, every word. Speaking the truth is a death sentence. Even whispering the wrong thing in your home can result in arrest, or worse. And yet, some still speak. The bravest people in the world are those who escape North Korea and tell their stories. Smuggled flash drives, testimonies in foreign countries, leaked documents from insiders. These cracks in the wall are how we know what's happening. And still, the executions continue. The United Nations has condemned the practice. Human rights groups have called for investigations. But little has changed. Because nuclear weapons, political alliances, and diplomatic risks keep world leaders cautious. North Korea knows this. That's why they act without fear of consequences. And so, while the world negotiates, North Korean children are watching bullets fly through flesh. While governments draft resolutions, families are forced to cheer while their loved ones hang. We may never know how many people have died this way. Their names are lost, their crimes erased, their final moments witnessed only by the terrified. The boy who stole rice because he was starving. The girl who dared listen to a foreign song. The father who tried to find medicine for his sick daughter. All gone, silenced. And yet, their stories survive in the mouths of the brave. For every life lost, there is someone who remembers, someone who escaped, someone who carries the pain. If we forget them, then the regime wins again. If we ignore them, we become part of the silence. North Korea's public executions are not just a tool of violence, they are the architecture of tyranny. A regime doesn't need millions of soldiers to stay in power. It only needs millions of people too afraid to move. But fear doesn't have to last forever. Change begins with exposure, with truth, with telling the stories they want hidden. The world cannot afford to look away, not anymore.